This is a Flying Cow production.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Movie Battles, where we take the very best in Disney Pixar and we put them head to head. And once again, I am joined by the litigator, Lauren Collins. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well today, Clay. How are you doing today?
Doing great. It's great to have you back here on the desk calling a match with me. And especially for this match, this is another follow-up kind of to a previous match that we had. Today, we have Dastardly, Daniel VanHiel, going up against the cooler, Chris Diaz. Both of these competitors, unfortunately, neither one has gotten a win. They're both 0-2. So at the end of this match, one of them will be starting a win streak. How long they'll keep it up, we don't know, but somebody is going to come out of this match with a win. I'm very excited about this match.
Same. It's unpredictable at this moment, I think. But like you said, someone's got to come out the victor here, and someone's got to, take that goose egg off their record.
Yeah, and unfortunately, somebody will walk out of here with a third loss, but, we will just have to see who that is. But before we go into the match, I want to remind you of a few things. First of all, the format for this game is, of course, borrowed from the movie Trivia Schmodown. If you enjoy this and you want to see more of it, check them out. Go to theshmodownlive.com and let them know that the cow sent you. Also, do not forget that the Flying Cow is not just movie battles. We are also we have a podcast. We we talk about television and movies, all that kind of great stuff. You can check out the podcast wherever you find podcasts. You can also get in contact with us at the Flying Cow Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And if you can't remember all that, it's just right on the banner above us. Not too hard. So what do you say, Lauren? We go ahead and bring in today's competitors.
Let's get it started.
All right. Introducing first, representing whoever will have him, with a record of 0 wins and 2 defeats, he is Dastardly Daniel VanHiel.
Hey, that's me.
That is you.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Dan?
Well, coming fresh off my second defeat, so there's that. But
It's true.
Yeah.
Kind of a tough match for you the last time.
yeah,
But I'm hoping that you can get back a little bit of the magic you had in the first one. How are you feeling going into this match?
well, I have to say I'm warmed up. I'll definitely say that.
All right. I don't know if you have had the chance to see Chris's previous matches, but you and he, like I said, have the same record. So what do you think your chances are here today?
It's hard to say coming off of that sound technical knockout that I just suffered, but I'm feeling that I should at least be able to get him to the end of round 3. At least make him answer some questions if it gets to that.
All right.
I'm hoping to at least get that much.
All right. Well, I am looking forward to that happening. So let's go ahead and bring in your competitor for today. And his opponent, representing whatever he feels like, with a record of 0 wins and 2 defeats, he is the cooler Chris Diaz. How we doing today, Chris?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So you are coming in here 0-2 against another competitor who is 0-2. How are you feeling about your chances?
Excited.
Excited. I've got to say, Lauren and I are feeling the exact same way. We are excited to see how you guys are going to do in this match. Did you have any special strategies preparing for this match?
Yeah.
Yes, and of course, he's not going to share them with us because that would be foolish.
He's acting like he's in a deposition. Exactly.
Yeah, he's. I think since his previous matches, Chris has decided to be a man of few words, a man that takes his time, a man that thinks before he speaks. Is that accurate, Chris?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, not a bad game plan, I gotta say. So, what do you say we go ahead and get Dan back in here and get this match going? All right. So, here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and get started with the reading of the rules for round number 1. In round number 1, 8 questions from random categories will be given to all competitors. Competitors will have 15 seconds to write down their answer. Answers must be spoken aloud when revealing your response. All questions in this round will be worth 1 point. If either competitor gets all 8 questions correct, they will have a perfect round and receive a 1 point bonus question. Competitors also have 3 repeats that they can use at any point throughout the game if you need to hear a question again, or you just need a little bit more time. Use your repeats. Competitors also have a challenge. If at any point you disagree with the ruling of a question, you can use your challenge. If your challenge is upheld, then you will keep your challenge. There is no stealing in this round. Are our competitors ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Lauren, are you ready?
Ready?
All right. Then I don't know about you guys, but I feel ready for a movie battle. Action begin. All right. And we are going to start in round number 1 with question number 1, coming from the category of early classics and classics. These are the films of the 30s through the 50s. And your question: in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, who warns Snow White that the queen is trying to kill her? Has anybody ever tried to kill you, Lauren?
I did at one point. I live in a duplex. I rented out the other half of the unit at one point to a guy who turned out to be a convicted murderer.
Awesome.
Yes. And he did get angry at me early on before I do that. And afterwards, it's like, yeah, it took on a different context once I realized what it's
just a little bit. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And Dan, we are starting with you.
Well, I hope I remember this right. At least I hope it's the same as the fairy tale. The hunter.
Hunter or huntsman? Yes, that is correct. And Chris?
Huntsman.
All right. So they both get that correct, keeping it tied at 1. Going into question number 2.
And question 2 is in the category of the Renaissance, mostly films of the 1990s. Which is particularly relevant because the question is, in what year was Tarzan released?
What year was Tarzan? I gotta say, these movie release dates, especially for the Disney movies, can be rather easy for me because I just remember when they came out and what I was doing and things like that.
For the ones I grew up with, yes. If you get outside that zone, like back in the 70s and 60s, it's just like, I don't know, the decade. I know the decade it came out.
I mean, I guess it also helps if you have a context of time.
That too.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, and I think I go Chris first, I believe. So Chris, what 1999 is correct. Yes. And Dan?
I also have 19.
Also correct. Very good.
That's
So
right.
it's tied at 2.
That
All
was
right.
during my college days, and remembering my college days can be a difficult time. Let me tell you.
But we did pull it, and we are currently tied 2-2 going into question number 3. That is in the category of the dark times, the films of the 2000s. And your question: in which film will you find characters such as Penny, Rhino, and Mittens?
Were you disappointed that Rhino didn't show up in the new Spider-Man movie?
No,
Paul Giamatti's
I was
Rhino.
not.
I don't think anyone other than maybe Paul Giamatti was disappointed by that.
Yeah, you know, I will say, I had not seen Amazing Spider-Man 2, and somebody mentioned, oh, Rhino was the best part of that movie. After watching it, I realized they were joking.
Yeah, exactly.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right, and Dan, we are starting with you, sir.
I'm pretty sure this is wrong, but Treasure Planet.
That is incorrect. Chris, do you have it?
Really underappreciated movie from this decade. Bolt.
It is Bolt. So Chris pulls ahead 3-2. Going into question number 4.
Question number 4 is in the category of Pixar, and it is In A Bug's Life. What do the ants build to scare away Hopper and the grasshoppers?
What would you build to scare away grasshoppers?
A giant foot, like in the old Monty Python bits when it would crash down from the top of the screen. Yeah,
There you go. Yeah. I mean, when in doubt, go with Monty Python.
absolutely.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, Chris, what do you have?
Hopper is afraid of bird.
It is a
He's
bird.
afraid of
Bird is the word. Dan.
Maybe giant bird.
Ooh.
Man.
It was giant to them. That is correct. So we'll accept that.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll accept it.
Yep.
All right. So we are now moving on to question number 5. The score is currently 4-3 in Chris's favor in the category of hybrid and Muppets. These are, of course, the live action animation mixes and Muppets films. And your question: what acting legend portrays Witch in Training Miss Price in Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
I'm
I'm
still
gonna
waiting for the Disney IP machine to decide that what the world needs is a Mary Poppins, Bedknobs, and Broomsticks crossover.
Oh, I'd love that. I
Oh,
would
okay.
love that. I loved this movie as a kid.
Yeah, same.
Loved this movie as a kid. I will say, watching it now, there are some things that I'm like, oh wow, I'm surprised they said that.
Yeah, there's that.
A few British slang terms that I don't think they knew what they meant. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. We are starting with Dan.
I went with Angela Lansbury.
And you went correct.
Woohoo!
Chris.
No, I had the other guy. I thought you had for the guy that was cheap there. That's David Tomlinson.
Oh no, that was actually a much deeper pull.
Dang.
So Dan actually ties it up 4-4.
I must say, when I first saw that film, I loved at the end when they animated all the armor and the
Yeah.
barber and the haunting bagpipers on the hill.
Yes.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Yeah. Lot more Nazis die in that than in most Disney films.
Yes, true.
Uh,
All right.
All right, question number 6 in the category of the decline and the wilderness, the films from the 1960s through the 1980s. And the question is, in the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which character leads the charge in stopping Tigger's bouncing? Clay, do you know what the wonderful thing about Tiggers is?
Well, Tiggers are wonderful things.
That's true, right.
Tops are made out of rubber. Bottoms
Bottoms are made out of springs.
Yeah. In 5, 4, 3,
Come on.
2, and 1.
We're out of time. It's that thing.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. So, Chris, what is your answer?
Is that rabbit?
It is
I remember
rabbit.
correctly.
That is correct. Dan?
I also went with rabbit, but I think I spelled it incorrectly.
It's fine. I was about to say it's Winnie the Pooh. I don't
That's how I
spelling.
remember it.
Spelling
seeing
never
like
counts in this game, but especially when Winnie the Pooh is yeah, definitely.
I just remembered the ride and seeing like everything is spelled like that. So I was like,
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you had spelled Rue, I'd be more impressed. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
All
right. All right. So moving now into question number 7, tied up at 5. Question number 7 is in the category of package films. These are, of course, the short collections of the 40s. And your question: what was the 5th package film released in the 1940s? So this is going to require knowledge of all of the package films and which order in which they were released. Rather a hefty ask here. We will have to see, though, how they do in 5, 4, 3,
Repeat.
2. All right. First repeat from Chris. That is 1. All right. And the question: what was the 5th package film released in the 1940s? 40s, of course, being the decade in which the package films were released. What was the 5th package film?
with everything else original they're doing on Disney Plus these days. I wonder if they would entertain doing a direct to Disney Plus package film.
Package film. Well, I mean, technically, one of the reasons I put that in the question is that there have been other package films. Technically, Winnie the Pooh is a package film.
I think Fantasia 2000 kind of is.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So, Dan, we are starting with you, sir.
Well, my first guess was Ichabod Crane, but I went with the Three Caballeros.
Three Caballeros is incorrect. Chris,
Fun and Fancy Free.
Fun and Fancy Free is also incorrect. We were
Ooh.
looking for Melody Time.
Melody.
Melody
The
Oh, I-
only other one I know
Time.
the title of.
I would be LED Time and Fun Fancy Free. I was doing it. I missed one in my head. That's why. Why?
Yeah. Tough question, but they are still tied 5-5 going into the final question of round number 1.
And that question is going to be in the category of the CG revolution, the films of the 2010s through today. And that question is, in Moana, Maui uses a giant magical what, which allows him to shapeshift?
Of this question.
I wish I had something that allowed me to shoot.
Yes.
I don't know
What
what
it
I
would
would
be.
become, but
Oh, what do you become? Yes.
I mean, what would you become?
Would you want to become animals, or would you want to be like one of the old Wonder Twins and like turn into like a type of water?
I was about to say, theirs kind of sucked because they only turned into one thing, and it wasn't
Well, I mean,
always.
yeah, I
easy.
mean, like, it's Zaina and Jan. So one of them got turned like any animal. The other one got turned like an ice ladder or like
Yeah.
a puddle or something.
yeah,
Bucket of
definitely
water.
wouldn't want to do that in 5.
Yeah.
4,
Bleak had to carry him around in a bucket.
2, and 1. All right.
All right, and Chris, what is your answer? Hook is correct. We'll take Hook. Dan, what do you have?
I also have a hoop.
Hook, yes.
And
In
he
the film,
even
they call
drew
it-
it for us.
Yeah, they call it a
Yes.
fish hook in the film, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is a giant hook.
Yeah. All right.
I
So,
made a kind of joke, but just decided not to.
all right. So, not a bad round for either competitor. Both of them only missing 2, currently tied at 6 points apiece. I'm sure Dan feeling much better about this round number 1 than
Yes.
his prior than his prior match.
Although I did have the lead last time.
It's true. It's true. This time you're tied. All right. So let's go ahead and bring up the rules of round number 2. In round number 2, each competitor will spin the wheel up to 2 times. If you do not like your first spin, you can choose to spin again, unless, of course, you land on opponent's choice, in which case you are stuck with that. Competitors will have 4 questions in their category. Questions in this round are worth 2 points. Multiple choice is available in this round. However, if you use it, the value will drop to 1 point. Competitors will have 15 seconds to answer each question. Opponents may steal if a competitor gives an incorrect response. Repeats and challenges are still in effect. All right, so Chris, you came in as the favorite today, so you will have the choice. Would you like to spin first, or would you like to defer to Daniel?
Before.
All right, so Chris is going to defer to Daniel, so we're going to bring this wheel up for Daniel, and he is going to get the opportunity to spin this wheel first. Dan, can you see the wheel?
I see the wheel.
All right, then Dan, this spin is yours.
Any sound effects?
All right, and he has landed on the Disney Renaissance. I'll remind you, even though you might not need it, these are the films of course, mostly the 90s. Would you like to keep this, or would you like to spin again?
You know what? I'm gonna keep this one. This is a
you know, somehow I'm not surprised. So we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna bring up 4 questions for Dan in the category of the Disney Renaissance. So, and Dan, I am going to be asking these questions for you.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Just writing a note to myself. Multiple choice is a thing.
In round number 2. All right.
I tend to forget that.
Yeah. Gotta remember that. All right. So,
Okay.
your first question, round number 2, in the category of Renaissance. In Hercules, what phrase does Phil want people to say when they look up and see the constellation of his true hero? And we need as close to the exact words as we can get.
Oh, in that case, I'm definitely going to do multiple choice on this one.
Multiple choice it is. And your options. Is it A, Attaboy Phil? B, That's Phil's boy? C, What a hero? Or D, Look, stars?
I'm going to go with A, Attaboy.
Attaboy Phil is incorrect.
Oh.
So, Chris, you are going to have the opportunity to steal. Let me repeat the question for you. In Hercules, what phrase does Phil want people to say when they look up and see the constellation of his true hero? Is it A, Attaboy Phil? B, That's Phil's boy? C, What a hero? Or D, Look, stars?
I wrote it down before you even said a multiple choice. That's so boy B.
B, That's Phil's Boy, is correct for a 1-point steal. All right, so Chris currently ahead by 1, but Dan can easily change that with his next question. And the question is, who provides the voice of the archdeacon, the head priest in The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I've been burned on one of these before. I just want to get his voice in my head before I ask for the multiple choice, because I'm definitely going to ask for the multiple choice on this.
Sure.
So, okay, let's get that multiple choice going.
All right. All right, and your options are, is it A, David Ogden Stiers, B, Jim Cummings, C, Charles Kimbrough, or D, Corey Burton?
I'm going to go with B, Jim Cummings.
B, Jim Cummings is incorrect.
Ugh.
So, Chris, you are going to have the opportunity to steal. Let me give you the question and the options again. Who provides the voice of the archdeacon, the head priest in The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Is it A, David Ogden Stiers, B, Jim Cummings, C, Charles Kimbrough, or D, Corey Burton?
Between two, A, David Ogden Stiers.
A, David Ogden Stiers is correct for a 1-point steal. So, Chris building a lead during Dan's round. But like I said, he still has an opportunity to get a lead here. He just needs to answer, for 2 points on at least one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And your penultimate question in the category of Renaissance. In Beauty and the Beast, what animal tries to eat Belle's book?
Tries to eat Belle's book. That is the sheep.
Sheep is correct for 2 points. All right.
Right. Tries to eat Belle, that's a different animal.
True. All right. And moving, and so with that, Dan ties it back up at 8. Moving into the final question of his round number 2. In Mulan, what is the name of the villain who wants to conquer China?
Multiple choice.
Okay. Multiple choice it is. And your options there. Is it A, Shifu, B, Shu Kang, C, Qian Po, or D, Shan Yu?
I'm going to go with B.
B, Shu Kang is incorrect.
Mm.
So, Chris, you once again get the opportunity to steal. Let me repeat the question and options for you. In Mulan, what is the name of the villain who wants to conquer China? Is it A, Shifu, B, Shu Kang, C, Qian Po, or D, Shan Yu?
And much I love to conquer Panda reference, that not it, it's D, Shan Yu.
Is D, Shan Yu for a 1-point steal. All right, so at the end of Dan's round number 1, Chris currently leads 9-8. However, so obviously Dan is going to be hoping that Chris gets something that he can steal. So we will have to see what that is for Chris's spin. So let me bring up the wheel. All right, Chris, can you see the wheel?
Yeah.
All right, then Chris, this spin is for you. And you have landed on The Dark Times. These are, of course, the films of the 2000s. Would you like to keep it, or would you like to spin again?
You know what? I'm going to keep it.
All right, so Chris opts to keep The Dark Times. So he is going to get 4 questions in the category of The Dark Times, and those questions will be asked to him by none other than the litigator himself, Lauren Collins.
All right. And your first question is, what is the name of the lead character in Dinosaur, an iguanodon adopted by a family of lemurs?
Multiple choice.
All right. Your multiple choice options are A, Kron, B, Aladar, C, Bruton, or D, Nero.
B. Aladar.
B, Aladar is correct.
Yeah, I realized it that when you went multiple choice, then I got the spelling in my head right.
That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. All right, question number 2. In Brother Bear, what animal totem does Kenai receive?
Multiple choice.
All right. Your multiple choice options are A, eagle, B, wolf, C, pig, or D, bear.
Bear.
Bear is correct.
All right.
Ever thinking the line in my head, that one to make sure it sounded correctly.
Yes. All right, question 3. In Fantasia 2000, what is the only segment that also appeared in the original Fantasia?
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Sorcerer's Apprentice is correct.
2 points right there.
And finally, in the darkest of dark times films, in Home on the Range, who provides the voice of Maggie, the newest animal on the farm?
Oh. Multiple choice.
Your multiple choice options are A, Roseanne Barr, B, Jennifer Tilly, C, Judi Dench, or D, Estelle Harris.
Yeah, I needed the last name I had. Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne Barr is correct.
Nice.
Right, so Chris does actually pretty well in his round 2. Goes to multiple choice for the majority of it, but picks up a point on every single question. Did not miss a single question in that round. So at the end of his round number 2, he currently leads 14 to Dan's 8. Currently has a 6-point lead, but still anybody's match. So let's go ahead and bring up the rules for round number 3. In round number 3, competitors will pick 3 numbers ranging from 1 to 20 that correspond to 3 random categories. Each competitor will have 3 questions. Questions in this round are worth 2, 3, and 5 points respectively. Competitors will have 15 seconds to answer each question. There is no stealing or multiple choice in this round. Repeats and challenges are still in effect. All right, so we are now in the final round of this 3-round match. Chris, you currently lead by 6 points, so you get to choose your 3 numbers first. What sounds good?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Which 3 numbers?
So what's the number range?
1 through 20.
5, 9, no, 5, 2, and 9.
5, 2, and 9.
And on my
Right.
birthday.
All right. And Dan.
Well, in true fashion, I will be using one of
Rolling the
these.
die, of course.
The 8,
Okay. 8,
20, nat 20,
20,
and 10.
and 10. All right. So 8, 20, and 10 for Dan. 5, 2, and 9 for Chris. All right. So, Dan, you are currently down by 6 points. So you're gonna need to you're gonna end up having to answer your 5 in order to send this.
Yeah.
It's possible though. So we will just have to see how that goes. So we're gonna start with your 2-point question. We're gonna try to avoid this TKO and send this back to Chris. You chose number 8, and that relates to the category of the Muppets. All right. And your question: which film is about Kermit and the gang trying to get a show produced on Broadway?
That would be The Muppets Take Manhattan.
That would be correct. All right, so 2 points. Currently now only down by 4. Moving into your 3-point question, and you chose number 20. That relates to the category of actors.
Oh, okay.
And your question: who provided the voice of Duke Kaboom in Toy Story?
Oh, dang. Oh, I know this one.
Remember, you still have all 3 of your repeats.
All right. Let's see. Boom. He was the little daredevil motorcycle guy, right?
In 5.
Could I get a repeat?
4. Yes. All right. So that is your first repeat. All right. And the question in the category of actors: who provided the voice of Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4?
It just amuses me just hearing that word over and just Duke Kaboom. Is like in my head I want to say Super Dave Osborne, but that's what he looked like.
In 5, 4.
I'll just say Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I know that's wrong, but
That is incorrect. We were looking for Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
I knew it.
Keanu Reeves. That's all right. You can still send it back with your 5-point question.
I get a 1-point lead here.
All right, and your 5-point question, you chose number 10. That relates to the category of movie quotes. Movie quotes. And your question for 5 points to avoid the TKO. You must not let anyone define your limits because of where you come from. Your only limit is your soul. Is a quote from which film?
Mulan.
And your winner by TKO,
Wow.
the cooler, Chris Diaz. We were looking for Ratatouille.
What? Oh.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, that quote works on so many different movies. It's that one. My second guess was like, let's see, Moana. Works on.
Just think of the Disney movie that had the message of believe in yourself, and that.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that
The
helps.
one with the princess in it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, thank you guys. Great match. I'll go ahead and let you guys turn off your cameras and we'll bring you back in for your interviews. Well, I mean, I gotta say that was a pretty good match. I mean, I know that obviously they were neck and neck in round number 1. Unfortunately, Dan, just had those missteps in round number 2. Got a category that I think he felt pretty confident in, but the questions were just a little beyond his reach.
Yeah.
And then, Chris, like I said, went to multiple choice a few times, but had a pretty strong round 2. Plus, he got those steals.
Plus, he got all the steals. Yeah, and just took a lead. And I mean, we got all the way down to a 5-point question, but just couldn't make up the deficit.
Yeah.
No.
Couldn't quite push it to Chris, but I think that it is time to go ahead and hear from today's competitors. All right, so Dan, Dastardly Dan, unfortunately, we have you here again on the losing side. How you feeling?
Well, I do still have a perfect record.
It's true.
On
it's
the
perfect on one side.
Still,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely rough. I mean, we know that you've got the knowledge. We saw in your first match some of the surprising knowledge that you showed against Amanda. It's just so far in your more recent matches, it hasn't been able to show. But I gotta ask you, do you feel like there's, after what these 2 matches, is there anything that you feel like you need to do differently going forward into your next match?
Well, I was trying to think about what it's like. I know there's huge swaths of knowledge of Disney that are kind of unknown to me. Package films is one thing, but it's like the directors or like what years stuff came out and the order they came out. I was like, oh right, was Toy Story 3 before Mulan, or was Mulan with the was Moana before or after? What year what decade was that? Would that be in this category? I think maybe the first thing I really need to do is just kind of sit, because I completely forgot the Bolt. He was great to pull that one out, and it was probably an easy question if you had even heard of the movie, but it was that one just went in one ear and out the other when it came out for me. So, it was like the mid 2000s or something like that. And I think it's just a question of, I should probably just get a more broader knowledge of how many films there really are out there.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and just kind of put them in my brain, and was like, okay, when we're talking this section of movies, these are the movies you could forget everything about all these.
Yeah.
It's like The Wilderness. Okay, all right, I don't have to worry about Snow White. Snow White wasn't in the wilderness. The Black Hole. All right, they're never going to talk about the Black Hole. This wasn't an animated film.
Not an animated film or a hybrid film. Yeah.
Forget about everything you know about Herbie the Love Bug. You don't need to worry about that now. Yeah.
Not for this one. Not yet, anyway.
Although I must say, of I felt like I did better in this one, obviously, even though it was another TKO. At the very least, I feel like I'm a good sparring partner. I may get knocked down at the end, but I'll let you. I'll keep your arms up.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, you are unfortunately now 0-3. I'd love to see you add a 1 on the other side of that record at some point. Just wasn't your day today, but definitely looking forward to what you bring in your next match.
Me too.
All right. Well, thanks again, Dan.
Yeah, thanks.
And here we have today's winner, the cooler, Chris Diaz. Chris, you finally have a win under your belt. You are now 1-2. How does it feel?
Ecstatic.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be ecstatic because none of your matches have looked bad. You just had some rough luck. You had that match against Partis where you were in the lead until round 3, and then you just got a couple questions you didn't know. And then in your second match, unfortunately, you played the current champion, Kelly, on her rise up. But now you finally have this first win. So, going forward, now you have your first win. You are going to be set on, playing some other people, possibly having a path to the championship. Is there anybody that you can think of that you would like to test yourself against next?
Anybody.
All right. The cooler is taking all comers. I appreciate that attitude. Well, I got to say, Chris, it's been very exciting to see you here today. Excited to see you finally get that first win. And I can only see bigger and better things for you. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Yeah.
All right. So another match in the books. Another 2 players that hadn't won. Now Chris moves forward 1-2. Unfortunately, Daniel walks out of here 0-3, but there's still many more matches in the season. Who knows? He might get that first win moving forward.
Yep. Best of luck to him. Best of luck to Chris too, moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. The sky is the limit. We will just have to see what both of these competitors have to offer moving forward in the season. But I gotta say, we got a lot of great matches, a lot of great opportunities for some great players coming up. But in order to see those things, you got to stay here, you got to stay watching, and remember, moo.
Moo.